Microphone check 1 2. What is this? The 5 foot is coming with the roughneck business. Shout out to Fife Dog. He passed away. But this video is not about Fife Dog. You don't know who he is. He's from a group called A Tribe Called Quest. Grew up with that group. Loved their music. Anyways, this video is about the sounds that's been heard around the world. And I was just sitting here trying to produce some music and just thinking about sound and its relevancy and how much we depend on sound. And these weird sounds have been heard all over the planet. And I'm just going to play some so, I can talk about that. And what I think it is, of course, I don't know. But I have some theories that I'm just going to put out there. Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got a theory. Nobody has the whole truth because we just don't. We just don't. Scientists don't have the whole truth of what's going on. We don't even though there's 8 billion of us, we still do not cover the globe. We've been all over the globe, but there are parts of the earth that we're just unaware of what goes on there. Recently there was a glacier that broke off, and the glacier was so large it was like New York collapsed into the sea. But we didn't feel it, but we know it happened because there were cameras there. But nonetheless, and when you see the size of the glacier that broke off into the sea, you think, wow, like this planet is huge. But the most of what's going on is under the surface of what we see. There's over 400,000 miles of lava. The largest mountain range is actually underwater, under the Pacific, and there are 5 supervolcanoes, and one of them is in California. At the mouth of that supervolcano is 5 miles. It happens to be part of Yellowstone Park, and it's active. Okay, so I'm not going to get into all of that, but let's listen to some of these sounds that people have been recording. I want to go back to that last sound.
What was it? Yeah. What?
This is in Dubai. Sounds like a horn.
What's this sound?
This is just a car going by here, but listen to it. I don't know how good you can hear it, but hold on a second. Here it comes. That was in Dubai. This is in Canada. Sounds like somebody moving a table.
Got here.
You go back to it. Yeah, that happened in January.
Weird.
Okay, this is in Singapore. I also want to say that. Oh man, I gotta get that. I I also want to say, okay, this is in Singapore. The one that happened in Canada was in January 2016. The one that happened in Singapore, January 2016. Okay, so let me try to see if I can. Okay, January 13, 2016, Canada. Singapore, January 13, 2016. Okay, that's just way too weird. Let me see what this is.
Shook. But the airport and the police say it was all part of an emergency services exercise.
Oh, that's a lie. They were talking about booms in the sky. We listen to the Singapore again. It's the same sound. Okay, January 13, 2016, Norway. Crazy. January 14th, 2016, Scotland. Six p.m. or 6 a.m. And it happens every 6 a.m. and sometimes in the evening. 14th of January, 6 p.m. It's so loud that it wakes the people up. I'm just reading what they're saying in the video because I can't show you the video.
It's 6:08 p.m.
Crazy. Okay, Texas, January 14th, 2016. Now we're in the United States.
Doing that for a solid 2 hours now.
The same sound.
No, what the hell that noise is?
Oregon, January 12th, 2016. Oh, listen to this. Listen to this. Poland. This is Poland, January 14th, 2016. Okay, so there's hundreds of videos of that. But, okay, so here's one of my theories. Some of those sounds are, they're pulsating sounds. And some of them are continuous sounds. Now, for those of you, I'm almost 50, so for those of you who are around my age, remember when we used to play on a record player, you had a 33 and you had a 45. And, you know, where the art of scratching came from hip hop is because we used to, you know, try to manipulate the sound on, you know, the albums. And then, and you had the scratching sound. So, bear with me. I know. I'm going somewhere with this. But nonetheless, so if you speed up the 33, it sounds like mice. To speed up the album on 45, sounds like mice. 33, 45. If you slow it down, it sounds like somebody's talking really slow. So here's just my theory on what's going on. Okay, so I think, okay, for one, this is happening all over the world. That's why I kept calling out what part of either the country or the planet these events were happening. So it's happening all over the world. All these sounds are familiar. Nobody knows what they are. Some of them are very loud, booming sounds. Some of them are just very melodic, humming sounds. And, you know, so, but they're all so loud that they wake people up. They shake their house. Like we had a thunderstorm the other day, and a gust of wind came by, and it wasn't even thunder. It was just a huge rumbling, and it shook my whole house. I mean, it scared me. I was just like, wow, I am really like a speck on this planet. You know, it just. So this planet it's powerful. It's a very powerful planet, and it's alive. And it's not too happy with humans. Nonetheless, so as far as the 3345, you know, you speed it up, sounds like mouse. If you slow it down, here's what I think is going on. Here's just a way of trying to find out what's going on. I think for whatever it is interstellar, for one. We don't know what's under our feet. We think we know what's underground. We don't. Like I said, there's over 400,000 miles of lava. It's a river of lava. We don't know what's at the core of the Earth. We can only surmise by science, but we're not exactly sure. The Earth is covered by most water. It's 77% is water, just like us. We're 77% water, so there's no mistake in that. But nonetheless, it's just so much water. And the largest trench down is 5 miles. That's pretty huge. Okay, let's get an idea of what that is. The highest mountain that we have is 1.5 miles. It's 1,500 feet, and that's Everest. That's our highest mountain. So in the largest trench that we have, that we've sent something down into, it's 5 miles. Just wrap that into your head. 5 miles down, underwater. Pressure is so much down there that you can't really get anything down there. Nonetheless, there are living creatures in there. Okay, so so the Earth is alive. And the Earth and the whole solar system, it's all alive. It's not by accident. Nonetheless, the Earth is not exactly round, but it is round. It moves like this. It doesn't move like this. It moves like this. Nonetheless, the spinning of the Earth the spinning of the Earth, the rotation of the Earth has its own properties. It has its own frequency, just like we have our own frequency as human beings. When we speak, our sound out of our mouth has its own frequency. Sound itself has its own frequency, and our ears identify to different things by their frequency. When we hear an alarm, we know it's an alarm by what? The sound of the alarm, the frequency of the alarm. The Earth has its own frequency. Okay. It is alive. It is an alive being. The Earth is an alive being itself. We're just little specks living on it. But nonetheless, I think whatever is doing this, I think the way we find out what's doing it, maybe it's the Earth itself, but I don't think so. But I think that the sounds are frequencies. Sound itself is a frequency. but the way we find out exactly what it is we use it kind of like a record player. So if we record these sounds, which we have been doing, and take those sounds and either speed them up or slow them down, we can find out exactly what it is. Now, I'm saying that to say this. I don't know how many of you look into like scientific channels, but there is something out there they call the bloop. It's a sound that a very large creature 5 times the size of a whale made. And they know it's a living creature that made it by science, but the reason why they think it's so big is because of the distance that the sound traveled. They measured the distance that it traveled and the speed that it traveled. And they said, wait a minute, if something can travel this many miles at this speed, and we know it's organic, that is a living creature. And there is no living creature, and they know this because they've tested other living creatures. So they tested dolphins. I'm going somewhere with it. They've tested dolphins. They've tested anything that makes noise, especially dolphins. Anything that makes noise. Killer whales make noise when they use frequencies to hunt. They use frequencies to find out where they need to go in the water. And of course, sperm whales, blue whales, they all use frequencies to travel from wherever their breeding ground is to wherever they're regularly at. And that's 500 miles. It's far. Penguins and all that, they travel very large distances, but they use frequencies to do it. And they speak in frequencies when they speak to each other. And we know the largest mammal is a whale, and it makes a particular sound, and that sound travels so far, this thing is 5 times larger than a whale. Anyways, what I'm saying is we need to take those properties and apply it to what we're hearing. And I think if we use the spinning rotation has a number. The Earth's gravity has a number. If we take the rotation of the Earth and scientifically figure out what that number is, how fast it's spinning. When a wheel turns, it hits the ground, there's a number, boom. How often does that wheel hit the ground? The same thing with the Earth. It spins, but when it's full rotation of spinning, and how fast is it spinning? And it's an extraordinary number because of gravity. But I think if we start scientifically taking that gravitational number and then applying it to the frequencies that we're listening to, we can find out exactly what it is. It's just a theory, but I've been thinking about it ever since I've heard this. And the large booms, I think if we either speed those sounds up or slow them down, just like a record, we can find out exactly the property of what it is. We might not know exactly what it is, but we'll know the property of what it is. So understand what I'm saying. Like, they don't know what that large fish is they call the bloop, but they know it's a living creature. They know it's organic. So we don't know what the sounds are, but we need to find out if they're metallic, if they're organic, if they're natural sounds. They could be tectonic plates moving, because tectonic plates move all the time. And when the tectonic plates move, if something moves, it has a sound. So you can have the movement of tectonic plates. It's very, very strange to us because we don't know of all the events happening on the same day. So whatever's happening is happening. Now, when I say tectonic plates moving, we know that they move, but they move slightly. If they move, like if there's a sudden jolt, we have earthquakes, so on and so forth. But they still move. Let's get this correct. The tectonic plates are floating on, magma, so on and so forth. I'm not a scientist, but nonetheless, they still move. So we need to know what it is, but we can tell what it is if we can start mathematically listening to the frequencies and slowing them down, speeding them up, and we can tell what property it is. Once we tell what property it is, we can understand it, we can get a better honing on what it is. So we can say, okay, well, this is something that we don't know about, we've never come across, or this is something that we come across, it's just on a larger scale. It can also tell us if something is about to happen. So we can say, we can start preparing ourselves. And, you know, some people are running, hiding in their basements or in their bunkers, you know, or whatever. But there might not be no preparing for whatever it is. It might be just that gargantuan, just that catastrophic, that there might not be no preparing for it, and or there might be preparation for it, and we just need to know what it is. So that's just my theory. I'm sorry the video is 20 minutes long, but I just wanted to get that out. It's your boy Tone202. Let me know what you think. Peace.